Shalom, family. Good to see everyone here. Hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about what's going on here in New Jersey. It is deep. Now, today, for example, is 80 degrees. It went up to 80. Tomorrow is going to be in the 50s. Well, we've been fluctuating all over the place for several weeks now. And even in April, we had 90-degree days. And then it went back into the 50s during the day and 40 and 30s at night. Well, you never think about the impact this is having on your trees and the vegetation outside that's growing. It really does impact it because of the wild fluctuations in temperature. A lot of the fruit trees in New Jersey are not going to bear fruit. And I'm going to let you listen to a farmer that has a peach orchard. And he said not one peach is going to grow this year because of the weather. And it just goes to show you how powerful the Most High really truly is. If he wants to stifle a crop from growing or a tree from bearing fruit, he can do it just from using the weather. And that's what he did, y'all. He used the weather to stifle the crops. And when you listen to these crop size these white farmers got, it's like insane. 200 acres, or they got 2,000 peach trees. I mean, it's like insane, and we know the black farmers never had the opportunity to have those things because of sabotaging and stealing of their land. They never had that. At least you had an opportunity to grow crops like that and sell crops to supermarkets and locations all across the country and even overseas. We never had that chance. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, this state is definitely feeling the judgment. And it's not just us, it's the neighboring state of Pennsylvania going through the same thing. Their farmers are can't grow nothing. And it's the weather. Many of these plants, fruits and vegetables, they don't do well in cold weather. They're fine once spring comes, and if it stays warm, then they thrive. But if the weather keeps dipping down in temperatures that they really don't thrive in, yeah, it's going to bear impact on these trees and gardens and crops all over the place. So I'm going to let you listen to some of these farmers and the news and what they're saying about this. Yeah, I mean, the fluctuation really makes a difference. So they're telling us the cherry trees around here will not be bearing any fruit. The peach trees won't be bearing fruit. Apple trees, they said it's going to be probably we'll be seeing a summer with no peaches or very few on the market. And the few that do make it to the market will probably be very expensive. So they're already warning us in the state that we probably won't see peaches this summer because of what's happening. All I can say is if it's in the will of the Most High, there's a reason for him doing it. And we know, I told you, New Jersey is wicked. If you look at a map of sundown towns, you won't even see the state of New Jersey because it's covered in sundown towns. And when it was flooding here, and I told y'all, I said, this place is wicked. New Jersey is a wicked ass state. It's wicked here. And yeah, there's a lot of white supremacists, and you really don't get too much exposure to them depending on where you live, of course. And yeah, I mean, it's like any other place in America, a lot of racism here, and the people are, what I don't like about the people, they are covert with their racism. They'll try to pretend like they're not like that. And then in the same token, they'll turn around and be somewhere screwing you over, or go run in the boss's office trying to claim you ain't doing no work, or just lying on you, That's what these folks are notorious for. And if you don't know how to combat them back, like I just learned on my own how to combat a lot of their BS. But if you don't, yeah, they can devour you. So, well, let's get to it. All right. Okay, please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. And Pennsylvania is definitely wicked. I grew up in Pennsylvania. That's why they call Pennsylvania the Alabama of the North, and it really is. It really is. It's a bunch of rural areas and areas our people don't even live in, and it's definitely, parts of Pennsylvania is like Hicktown. Thank you. All right.
I am walking through the peach orchard at Heilig Orchards in Mullica Hill, New Jersey. 200 acres surround me. The owner tells me because of wild weather swings during the last month or so, his crop here has been a total loss, complete devastation. Also, another important note, he tells me that he believes peaches are going to be almost impossible to come by in New Jersey. And if you do get them, they'll probably be much more expensive. How bad is this for folks who don't understand?
This is catastrophic. I doubt folks will be able to find any peaches this summer at all in New Jersey.
A rough month for Heilig Orchards is an understatement. Like many other farms in South Jersey and the rest of the state, Carl Heilig tells NBC 10 his peaches are gone. 200 acres of the fruit ruined from drastic weather swings.
When it gets that cold, you can't do much about it. I mean, these little tiny peaches were in the worst possible stage that they could have been in to sustain that kind of cold weather. And I mean, every one you cut open is just dead.
A few extremely hot days that caused the fruit to blossom, followed by frigid weather, killed his peach crops. They make up 80% of his bottom line.
There's 5 apples and they're all dead. Yeah. It's crazy.
Not only are his peaches destroyed, but his apples, asparagus, and pears suffered great damage. Without crop insurance, Heilig says his multi-generational mid-sized farm would need to shut down for good. So you're saying without the crop insurance, there was a chance you would have to shut down?
Oh, if we didn't have crop insurance, I'd be calling the auctioneer to have an auction, and that would be the end of it real quick.
As we walked around the orchard, Heilig warned of more expensive fruit. His workers gathered what they could of the asparagus crops. Once that work is done, the jobs go away for now.
I really don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have a...
So people will be out of jobs because of...
Oh, yeah, definitely. Not just, the workers on the farms, the workers in the packing facility we send to.
Hanging on by a thread and hoping next year can ease the blow from a heartbreaking and costly spring.
It's been a cold start to spring, and orchards like this one here in Lancaster County, we're at Cherry Hill Orchard, are suffering because of it. Their crops can't grow, and that's exactly why Governor Josh Shapiro is here today to address these local farmers and some of their concerns with that deadly freeze for their crops that we had in April. Here at Cherry Hill, they were showing the governor some of their trees. There's no fruit on them right now because of how cold it's been. The governor is urging the federal government for some relief for this. They want a disaster declaration. A lot of local farmers help out local food banks by donating their crops and the fruit that they grow to be able to help people. And they're not able to do that right now. So that's exactly why the governor is walking through the orchard to talk to these farmers, hear their concerns in real time, and hopefully get some relief for everyone in this situation.
I can take it to the used market. So like this puts growers like me in a bind, because now we're like, okay, well, how do we manage this crop? Should we just grow it? Should we just leave it alone? Should we take care of it?
I'm seeing some disturbing posts pop up about our local farmers here in New Jersey. The first one I saw was a U-pick cherry farm.
My question is, white farmers have had every opportunity up in here you could possibly have when it comes down to farming. Why are they always the whiniest people you ever see? Even before all of this stuff and the tariffs, even years ago, they were always whining. Oh, this is happening. Oh, that's happening. Oh, we need help. Oh, government, where are you? They are the whiniest farmers on the planet. Damn, you done got everything, literally everything, every loan you wanted, every grant you wanted, land you didn't even have to pay for, generational wealth, and a lot of it is from stolen land that you're, growing these. You done got everything, and y'all always whining. Wow, really? Here we go again.
This morning I found this article for NewJersey.com about it, and it's for Rowan's farm, not Rowan College, but Rowan in Glassboro, and the farm crop was completely wiped out from the late April freeze. He made this post on Facebook. You can find him there. He does have a GoFundMe up. I had seen an interview somewhere, I couldn't find it this morning, that he prepares all year for his U-pick season. Everybody comes in, gets to pick the cherries, and now it is gone. And they say in the GoFundMe that farming is always unpredictable, but nothing could have prepared them for the heartbreak of seeing every single cherry lost. So the donations here will help them cover the expenses for their taxes, their insurance, the fertilizer, the mowing, and the weeding of the cherry trees to get ready for next year, as well as trimming and irrigation. And then when I woke up, I saw another disturbing post about peaches. And these are all some of the fun support your local farmer activities we have here in New Jersey. Is the U-pick farms, the blueberries, the peaches, the apples, the cherries. So this is on 10 Philadelphia. It's titled "A Summer Without Peaches in South Jersey. Some farmers say the crop damage is bad." It's also apples, pears, and asparagus. This article mentions Healy Orchards, which has said they've never seen this kind of destruction before. They have 200 acres of peaches now gone, which is the equivalent to 70,000 25-pound half bushel boxes. And he said the same thing has happened to the apples. He notes that farmers do have crop insurance, which helps. It's just such a tragedy. So we'll have to see here in New Jersey if there's other ways we can help out our local farmers, since it's going to be pretty limited, it seems, this year. I had just discovered the peach picking, because the apple picking here has gotten like madness with the crowds, and the peaches come a little earlier, and it was just so nice to walk through the orchard.
We've had a lot of people reach out to us asking if we did all right with the late freeze that we just had about like a week or two ago. And so we want to give you guys an update.
When the weather gets warm, peach trees put out flowers that will then turn into fruit. If there's a time when temperatures drop below 28 degrees for a couple hours during the night, after the trees put out flowers, those flowers will crystallize, they'll fall off the tree, making their no fruit.
So we had a pretty warm couple weeks, and then the flowers bloomed, and then we just had a freeze the other day.
It started with a few farmers reaching out to us, asking us how we were doing. We heard rumors of some farmer friends of us losing 50%, 20%. Then there was murmurs about some farmer from Mullica Hill who had lost 90% of his crop. Now there's a lot of murmurs about, is this going to be a year without Jersey peaches?
Yeah, so
there were a lot of questions right off the bat, like, would we have enough peaches for the stand? Will we have enough to go to the Burlington County Farmers Market? All those things are big questions in our mind and still up in the air. Where we're at now, there are still peaches on the trees.
Whether they fall off in a week or two is kind of up in the air.
The crop was definitely affected, but there's
Yeah.
stuff there. How are you feeling?
I mean, it's been pretty clear since the beginning that as much as we want this to be in our control, farming is not in your control. You can do as much as you want to try to like make it work the way that you want it to and calculate it correctly, but nature will run its course and have its way. And I think there's some aspects of that that's absolutely beautiful. This was a good opportunity for Bryce and I to look at each other and soberly say, what are we doing here? And how does that impact what we are doing here on this land?
I think you and I have also experienced enough times in life where something that seemed incredibly devastating, take the wedding, for example, has then turned into like a crazy, beautiful thing. And so we've almost been like Pavlov dogs trained to like, when there's something outrageously devastating, to be like, ooh, is something on the move here? What's going on? Which way is the wind blowing? And kind of looking for like
the redemptive piece of it.
Is there going to be a really beautiful, bright side to this? We're here to harvest a lot more than peaches and to cultivate something really beautiful on the land, I think. So we're going to do that. Maybe this was the year that we really got to slow down, press into people instead of peaches. Maybe this was the year that we got to really hone the vision of the farm. Maybe we have fewer peaches, but they were the best darn peaches that Jersey ever saw. So we're excited for whatever this year ends up looking like.
I think you guys are going to be so pumped at what we've got in store.
No matter what happens, we love you guys, and
Love
we're pumped.
you.
10 years ago it happened to us, and we tried to do fires throughout the orchard, and it did not help. So this year we just kept our fingers crossed.
If you love to go apple picking, you might not get the chance to do it this fall, and it is all thanks to Mother Nature. Some farms across the Garden State, like Hillcrest Farm in Sussex County, are canceling apple picking as they lost nearly 90% of their apple crop due to the recent weather change.
Statewide, it's not only us, it's all of the orchards that we know of.
Well, we're grinding around, and I think it's a done deal here. So we went over and tried a field over there, cut about 12 acres off of it, 100 and some acres there, and determined the rest of it is no good. And we're about to do the same with this field too. So we're going to jump over about a quarter mile that way, and I think that piece looked better. So let's hope that there's some piece worth harvesting. But we've eliminated like 400 acres of peas, at least 500 almost, that we're not going to harvest because it's costing more to run the combine right now than it is when we're getting off the land. So we'll have to have it adjusted, see if we figure out how much is there. There'll be some federal crop insurance that we'll collect on it. And then, I don't know, if I burn the top off or have someone come hay the residue off. So that way we don't have to worry about seeing into it next year. Getting all the grasshoppers. Oh man, a whole bunch of them. All right, next field, it's making about 5 to 7. So it's worth cutting. So we'll roll through this. I hope this is a good indication of the whole field because that'll be a few more bushels in the bin. That'll be nice. So we'll just go ahead and just mow on through this and see how it goes. Here's the original homestead. This is Welker Homestead from 1912. My great-grandfather John came up from Oklahoma, and him and his brother homesteaded right next together. And this is where my grandfather spent some of his childhood growing up. The barn and the home fell over when I was a little kid. I do remember climbing around inside of the house when I was, I don't know, had to have been 6 or 7 years old. The outhouse is still intact, but on its side, so I can always tip it over if nature calls. But pretty amazing that this is where they set up camp.
I don't mean no harm, but why do y'all still got debris on the ground from 1912? I'm just wondering, because I see it on the ground right over there when he was talking about, some barn fell over and all that. Wait a minute, y'all didn't get that shit off the ground from 1912? Okay. So anyway, So, y'all, as you can see, man, farming is just going to be pretty poor this year for a lot of farmers across this country. And there is even more stories in farming in New Jersey. And maybe I'll get those one day this coming week. Um, there are a lot of farms not being worked on in New Jersey because the illegals got deported. So uh, everything in the ground is literally rotting. They don't have no workers to, tend to anything. And we know they don't do it. And a lot of people are taking notice. Well, they're like, well, why don't these farmers go out and just do the work? Because they're lazy and because they can't do the work. If they do, they will shrivel up and develop skin cancer and die. There's a reason why these folks aren't out there because that work would literally kill them. Why do you think they had us and now they got the illegals? They know it takes somebody with melanin in the skin to do that sort of work. They know what time it is. They just don't want to admit it. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I don't feel like listening to Buford here any longer. I don't know what his name is. I'm just calling him Buford. So anyway, um, Cap, thank you so much for the super chat. There are Black farmers to teach counter the weather changes. Don't feel intimidated. Black farmers will be the saviors through the hardships. Yeah, but we shouldn't have to be saviors to people that have done us wrong. And Zakaria, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships. I deeply appreciate it. And I thank both of you for your support for my channel. Deeply appreciate it. And besides, aren't we tired of being the saviors? We have done it for so long. I'm just so glad we're now taking a seat and getting away from these people and their issues and letting them handle it themselves. For real. For real. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. And I thank you for being here. Yeah, we're going through wild weather changes now. Like I said, it's 80 today, and tomorrow we're dropping back in the 50s. So, yeah, those crops ain't coming back, not for this year. They are gone. It's going to be weird driving past peach because I used to always drive past the peach orchards around here. And you would just see loads and loads of peaches all over the trees, just everywhere. And to drive past now and not see a single peach on the tree this time of the year, that is crazy. That is crazy, but I guess we won't be seeing none all summer long. So, y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And don't forget to pick up your Botana oil products over on Etsy. Shalom, family.